I like fucking up the starts of my videos. I like being a broken individual who can watch other people exist within this paradigm and pretend that they don't. And I had this grand plan of how I was going to post about my stream today, how I was going to get to the whole core of woo, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go. And I couldn't fathom that the universe would put energy my way towards trying to help me make a point. You know what I mean? Because I just literally spent most of yesterday relearning gravitational constants. And as I'm getting ready to post on this fucking Instagram, I realize that half the shit that I'm willing to say, half the shit that I'm willing to do is all just so rudimentary and it's so forced and it's so fake and it's so bothersome because like the same advertisements that get me are the same things that get other people. But I cannot believe that one day I will have to see myself in a production, in a video, in a something going, hey, have you guys tried out the brand new? And I keep rewatching every fucking take I have. And I'm like, all of this shit is gonna grab at max 3 people because I know people with jobs, bro. I know people who make art. I don't know the millions out there that consume this shit. I would love it if they watched me, but I'd have to force them to. Sat here and wrote all these goddamn notes about what I'm supposed to say and how I'm supposed to do it. Then I put a note in the bottom that says, be natural. Don't read this shit line for line either, because then you panic. But like, I'm trying to be natural with a phone in my hand. And it's like, if I experience that, then I definitely know people who have gotten over that, who have been already on the cutting edge of how to approach that. But not, there's more normalized, closer to you people than there are those. And that's what the focus of everything I'm about to say is all going to boil down to. Like, I don't want to say that I am the be all end all of every person who I ever interact with. But oh my Lord, have mercy if it just ends up becoming that way by true, on my mama, manifestation of their own. I don't know what it is about me. I don't know what it is about me that creates this paradox where, like, you talking about ain't no nigga ever gonna play you, but like, I just watched you get robbed for your chain type shit. Like, why are you putting on? And who is it for? You could tell a motherfucker, yo, I want to meet you at a party at 8 p.m. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a this, that, and the other. All right, I'd love to go. You go, you have a good time, you leave home. Next status, duh! I'm so lonely. I used to wonder why I ascribe meaning to things that people would not explain fully. Like, I'm gonna wait 6 years. I'm gonna wait 6 years to tell you finally, hey, it's not that you're not a bad person and I'm not trying to go like have all negative energy around me anymore or anything, but I had heard something that somebody else said and it made sense and it adjusted how I saw you. And it's like, that's crazy because I haven't talked about you specifically because I haven't seen you. Because you haven't replied, like, you didn't talk to nobody. So I didn't have you on top of mind. I only hung out with 2 people over the course of the entire pandemic. So unless it was on this stream, which I can go back and look, I never said anything about you. Nah, man, I can't say what it was or who it was. You know, I'm just letting you know what happened and I'm being honest with you. The duality of being a chapter in someone's life, for it to be erased and compartmentalized through an external factor that has nothing to do with you, which I will get back to later. I'll get back to that thought later. I promise you I'm going to remember to get back to that thought. But this is why people move weird. Because when you're very out and open, there's no room for interpretation, which juggles people between taking the straight path and going through the hoops that they've been trained to go through by people they might have loved, past trauma, like, or just dealing with people who have less integrity than you might have in the specific situation. And it burns you out. You become ego driven because you can't figure out why your relationships either go completely 100% awesome or straight down into the garbage, while you notice that the people that you're having these issues with or having miscommunications with seem to have stronger bonds over weaker things as as ascribed by them. So you're stuck because you can't figure out how their brain works, but you're not supposed to. But that doesn't stop them from creating an image of you that then they go and present to at any given time to somebody else. Like, you can hate that person all you want. When you take it out of the circle and say, you have to feel the way that I feel about so and so because of what I feel, and then you hear what they feel, and it's like, that doesn't really make any sense. You still gotta pick that because words matter. Words lead to actions. Unfortunately, we're learning backwards how to be social people. It is this strange break of chaotic high school. There was no big bang moment. There was no uniquely carved out experience for you to wedge your personality on. You don't know how to feel because popular topics dominate the spaces in which you try to seclude yourself from the world. You are indeed rewrapped around and repackaged as failure because you can't comprehend why I'm telling you, I think what you're doing is weird. And it's not like I have a problem with you, but like, it feels like at this point you're holding my word, the next reply I give you, hostage. You're just constantly waterboarding this idea over and over again. And eventually, if I choose to, out of the kindness of just like not replying anymore and blocking you, or later on we'll talk about actions such as that, I have to sit there and pretend like nothing's wrong or that everything's wrong, which forces it to build because I don't know you. Let alone if you're a friend of mine, let alone if we used to spend time together. I can see why some people subconsciously or otherwise like give meaning to things that are clearly explained. Like, you wonder, why would you say something like that? Like we were talking about with that lady who started out the video with, look, I don't have a dog in the Israel Palestine fight. It's like, wait, you also went through the same process I did this morning. This morning, 20 minutes before the stream started, I took a shower because I wanted to feel the type of way before I started rapping on camera. You started out a conversation like that. You recorded this and thought that was the best way to do it. Hey everyone, and I just want to say, I know this thought's gonna be heavy. Brace yourselves. I don't have a dog, and okay, you got me in the door. I wanted to. You had a nice personality. You want to tell me your opinions on a conflict overseas from us. Okay, let's go. Just that little tiny bit of what I guess we're now all ascribing to autism is like the same type of thing that I would notice in college when people would pull up in my inbox defending other people because I was talking to them. I remember this one nigga, this real one weird nigga, Rodney, had this complete otherworldly idea of me somehow. Never understood it. It was because the cool kids in the metal scene seemed to appreciate my presence more and that I didn't show up or what. Some weird shit. One girl finally come around. One girl finally come around. I hang out with her a few times. It's whatever's gravy. We talk about it. To what nothing ever comes of it. He messages me one time and he's saying all this blah 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 about being Casanova, this and that. And I'm looking at the message and I'm like, this feels disjointed from reality. This feels like you see who I am, and for some reason, just the idea of me being able to communicate properly has broken you to a degree where you feel that when I say something to you, you have to manage the tone, manage the inflection, manage the content, so it is delivered to you in a way that doesn't feel hostile. Hostile. Oh, that fucking tongue. Bit my fucking tongue. Hostile. Make sure I didn't hurt myself there. It just hurt. Hostile. Sorry, it just hurt. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's that? What's that? We don't do that here. We don't do that here. That's what I get for readjusting any little motion. Anyway, what's going on with the focus in this bitch? I hope this motherfucker didn't harm my camera some way. Oh, Kevin, we gonna have some problems. Yeah, that shit is bothering me. I'm gonna keep this in the recording just so you understand. Apologies, dear Stroma. Apologies, dear Stroma. Back to what I was saying. I don't find it weird, ironic. I don't find it strong. I don't find it demonic. I don't find it Anything other than basic observation of people leads me to thoughts like, why do you pretend to be somebody to a person? Like, you have as little attachment to this as I do because we don't know each other. Why go through all the hoops of like, you're an enigma and I have to figure you out? Who even are you? Who even are you? What service do you? Sorry, that focus is actually bothering me. It's weird that it's going anywhere else. I'm about to put it on manual. Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly. Probably because the back has some light to it. Anyway, I don't want to discover a world where I'm trying to figure out why you are treating somebody who is very open out and explained like myself like one of them other random niggas. That shit actually destroys me inside because it's another reminder that somehow some people are allowed to sell roaches on their chest as worthy of money, worthy of attention, worthy of praise. Meanwhile, I gotta sell everything that's me. Meanwhile, I gotta sell everything that's me. And that's it. That's all I'm given. That's all I'm given. And it feels like explaining that to people, they look at you like, damn, that's what you wanted, right? That's the life you wanted. And it's like, we're not talking about this. I'm talking about my everyday. If I had a job and never talked on the internet a day, these would still be conversations I would have to have. These are still conversations that I would have to have. And it sucks that I feel that way. It sucks that it exists that way. But that's the way it is. Nobody wants to pretend to be like, at some point, you have to hold your. I did that? My chatter just sent me a link. Like, I'm wearing this shirt that says all these things on it. And it's like, you had to buy that. Or who I'm dependent on to change the mind to hope that I can attain an audience large enough to entertain a nightly block like Toonami. I'm trying to be on this bitch 2 hours, swing dick and leave. You can't do that in this attention economy. I need my chicken nuggies now. I need my chicken nuggies now. But you tell people about it and all of a sudden you're wrong. You make it your identity and you're wrong. You're the guy they come to for advice. You're the guy that solves the problems, but you're wrong. You're wrong because you're trying, and trying's not good here anymore. We don't do trying anymore. We do surviving until it's too real. We do talking until it's too real. We do punishments until it's too real. Oh, I'm going to tell my child not to go outside because I don't like what they did. You can't go see your friends for a week. Then one of the friends dies. Oh, now that's a whole, you should have never. And it's like, well, there you go. There you go. The problem has broken itself. You are now an adult. No graduation ceremony, no cap and gown, no badge, no nothing. You just fall into it one day. You fall into it and you got no choice but to love it. Welcome to the real world, man. Welcome to the real world, man. Glad you could make it. Did you know you only have 30 minutes? Did you know you only have 30 minutes? You might be saying now at this point that this idea feels, I don't know what's going on with my focus. Holy shit, actually, though. Like, what did this boy do to my camera? I thought I fixed that shit just now. Hey, zone. 320, is that why? Not a natural ISO? Go 800 and lower the light. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Got too much dip on your chip there. Yeah, no, seriously. What's catching its eye that's making it focus? It's choosing the back? Yeah, I think it is. Holy shit. I think it's choosing the back. That's crazy. It's choosing the back. All right, manual focus it is. I'm leaving this all in the video. Maybe that guy was right. That's crazy. Maybe I should open the window. The key light and whoa, whoa, and we tilted. What's going on here? Your boy Paradigm is slipping. I'm losing the grip. The decline of Paradigm is televised. Soft focus. Don't like soft focus. Give me that hard stuff. Yeah, yeah. I don't think that the magnitude of how we treat relationships is ever examined. I don't think there's enough time for it. I don't think there's enough structure for it. I don't think people are willing to take the time out to realize what they have, when they have it, how they have it. It's shocking. It's shocking because then I'm forced to, as who I am, to just hyper analyze every conversation I ever have. We talked about it before with modern day debate and all those debate shows and everything. How come all of a sudden once they have you on, everything starts to change? You add something and they take off of that. Then they ask, should we have that person back? Nah, that was kind of We could take some stuff from that, but like, let's not attribute huge success and launch this person. We don't know anything about them. Everything goes through a filter. Your connections go through a filter. I gotta figure out why you here, because not everybody's here just to be here. Nobody's really yelling out loud, I'm really happy to just be here. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'm thinking about it as less of an abstract. How do I commit this thought to an audience that might not be used to a brain pattern like this? And I thought about a phrase. Why are we in the same room together? What makes you laugh in a room that I can control? Hey, I want to have a date with you. I want you to come with me to watch this comedian. Okay, the room is controlled. Therefore, the relationship experience is controlled. There are certain things you just can't do at a live comedy show that you might be able to get away with in a very lonely theater at 12:30 in the morning or at a motel room at 2 o'clock in the morning. What makes you laugh? What type of buy-in can I elicit from people? How did other people learn to buy in to other people? How did you learn to have friends? How did you learn who was safe and who wasn't? The idea of me trying to relate and push down all these naturally fundamental questions that are asked every time somebody approaches you has to also be filtered through the idea that we live in an age where now you can elicit buy-in from people through external factors not even your own. 1,000 people show up to your show, that's at least 274 different versions of you that they have in your head. That they have in their head, sorry. And you've only got the one. And you're like, damn, well, obviously that's what fame and stardom is. Okay, so lower that down to you being just somebody who's very vocal on Facebook. You get known as the messy bitch. You get known as the duh. You get known as the, I'm always putting my business out there, but you know a presentation of somebody. And I swear to you, there is a level of this in which you have to think about how smart that person is as compared to how much you're analyzing what they're giving. You might not even know that it could be all for clicks. It could all be for, I'll get a little boost here and there and they be throwing me $60 if I post weird shit and they go viral. I found these people who give me bots and they don't really care because half the bots be my friends and they also signed up for the program. It's like there's so many levels that you have to be wary of walking into this domain of conversation, that when you try to analyze people who don't exist within this space, you start to notice that they fall into very, 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 very specific trends of behavior. This is where my expertise has always lied. I spent 27 minutes, parse maybe 4 to 6 minutes fixing my camera, explaining that entire concept to you. That is why I am able to read people as far as I can read them. Because at a certain point, a lot of these people who develop relationships with other people are not at the party. There's no equality. I don't have to walk up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? We're not equal anymore. You watch me, that means that at some point there's a power dynamic where I control your experience. I can drag you down. You have control over it, to which you can say, I can just exit out of this. But you still showed up here. You still crossed through it. You still got affected by it to a point where when you heard me say that, you were like, can't do it today. I elicit the response whether you get to make a choice in it or not. So that type of power in just a small community is already something that has to be cherished and treated with responsibility. Now you're giving that power out to tens of thousands of people to happen on one person by accident. I never asked for all this. I didn't ask for the controversy. It's too late. It comes with the package now. Don't matter what you do. There's that weirdo. There's that community. I bought tickets to your show. You owe me. You've heard this so many times. Okay, what if that person's not a fucking superstar? Local shows. Hey, I invited you out to my show. You probably think you're gonna have sex with me after. I'm 31, so that's not really where I'm headed with this, because I treat it like I'm at the party. If I had thousands of people screaming WWWW, I don't think I could associate it with being at the party. I would think a whole bunch of people are hive-minded to respond to what I do as though that is who I am. The thing I do in that moment is what you're responding to. You don't actually have a complete picture of a ride that is taking you on because you're very reactionary. You're willing to defend easy because you've invested what little of your life you've already spent, if you're younger, watching these people, growing up with these people. We've already been through that phase. The whole point was to stop that phase. That's what we were originally doing with the idea and formation of people selling things on YouTube, like whole show packages, Nickelodeon packages. Let an audience naturally gravitate towards someone and we send them off to do something good with it. And we could keep doing that for more and more people as they go viral. Those people didn't have the vehicles that we have now. So you have to imagine how new those vehicles are. And there's always a problem when a vehicle comes off the lot for the first time. Why are you pre-ordering the Switch 2? You know that there's going to be problems. There literally was problems with the PS5. There was literally problems with the PS4. There was literally problems with the Xbox 360. There was literally problems with the Xbox One. Like, what more proof do you need before you start thinking about people as also these brand new shiny tools that we can use? People talk about this show Love Island and the dark undertones of it, of how people are using it for fame and to sell teas and all it. And it's like, that probably was what 1994 television was like. I watched The Death of the Learning Channel to turn it into TLC with Honey Boo Boo and how that whole thing came to be. And all of these are external factors that have completely unrealistic expectations for anybody ever thrust into that type of spotlight at that stage in their lives. Why is this person saying this to you? And why are you being duped by it? What does it offer? I thought about it, handing it to you in this phrase. What can you offer in a room where I can do anything I want to you? In this room, I can do whatever I want to you, and you can't say no. The idea presented is crazy when you say it out loud, but the motive will forever remain true depending on who says it to you. I say that to you out loud. You know me. Random people who don't know me could take it out of context, but I've already followed up the statement and prefaced the statement. I'm going somewhere with that. The idea presented is wrong. It's a piece of shit. But the motive, I want you to eat this Salisbury steak. I just laid it on top of a piece of shit. I made the steak. I didn't make the shit. What can you offer in a room where I can literally tell you, you will eat this and you will like it? Why? Because that's the dynamic given to us to respond to. You will watch whatever game I want to play. You will engage with whatever I want you to engage with. You will have no idea of your own unless I control the conversation. So how do I change that entire dynamic? How do I cause what is known as a paradigm shift? Well, instead of reacting to people's content, instead of getting these thoughts out of like the ecosphere of what's going on in the world, I just think for myself. I don't have to now put the Salisbury steak on a pile of crap. It don't have to do that anymore. I can now make the plate. You hear a lot of people being like, oh, that's why he gave me this plate. You're trying to help the boys eat. Somebody passed me the ball. I run it in for a touchdown. MJF. They expect me to hit home runs. Nah, I hit grand slams. And I do it on a weekly basis. I kill it every time because I know what the next level has to be for that person who comes in and sees it and is like, yo, I really like this. I really fuck with this. I hear what you're saying. Well, I don't have to ever stop saying those things. And I can also do things outside of it while keeping those core values. Unlike y'all. That's why you have ball pits that suck and an event that barely gets any mention or notice in mainstream attention. And our ecosystem is as weak as we are stars. We don't want to roll in and invest in nothing. Or maybe that idea just hasn't been given. Or maybe there needs to still be a low budget way for that to happen. Everybody who exists on this website got a camera, my dog. You find the people with the best cameras, you get some lighting, you see who's the film people, you start knocking on doors, making connections, put something together in your spare time. There is no escaping a dark room if you don't have another light source. Nobody's at fault for you not understanding the life cycle of the goddamn PlayStation 2. You're too young for that. I get it. But do you get that the people that you're arguing with were too young to feel that life cycle? Probably not. You used to have to go to a nigga's crib to get that link cable so you could get that Pokemon. You do not have to do that anymore. Shit, I can edit the code. I can edit the code in the fucking game if I really, really felt like it. If I really, really felt like it, I can edit the code in the game. I can edit the code in the game. Really not liking this breathe and focus shit we got going on here. What's poppin'? In the game. It's not making sense to me anymore. I don't know what's going on with the focus. This man really jacked up my camera, didn't he? I'm looking at it, seeing if it's gonna stop. Nope. All right, let me pause this real quick. What gets me tight is that we don't think of the world as access anymore. Christmas was hype because we got access to updates, which was the experience. I got the newest system. I got the newest game. You don't need that no more, bro. You don't need that no more. You waiting for the drop. They're going to drop new content. For that game you like playing, they're going to drop new content. Live service. When people say things like, "Oh, I don't understand, like, what happened to the family aspect, what happened to the camaraderie," you don't gotta do much to be out here no more. You don't gotta do much to be out here no more. That's not how it work no more. And I'm very sorry to tell you that. That's not how it work no more, baby. You on your own now. You on your own for all the reasons you don't want to be on your own. But you on your own now. Nobody was looking to divide into a subreddit the big tenets of our entertainment. We had our Saturday morning cartoons. We had our specific card games. We had video games. We had the bootleg versions. We knew the big ones. There wasn't diversity of opinion. You were children. And the elders around you were barely getting into it. You remember the Mountain Dew obsessed to a 23-year-old who loves to eat Doritos and like whatever bullshit the commercials were pressing. The movies, the paragons. All our friendships dwindle because you don't feel that anymore. But now you're in a world where you have to confront that. Unlike maybe the 1980s to 90s. Unlike the 90s to the 2000s. I was there. We were there. If you're here right now, you were probably there. We started buying in. I can do more with you. I can use more mundane, everyday things to trigger a response out of you. I can become a troll. I can break people's brains. I can try to shift the culture. You now have to filter me out into main folder, subfolder, 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 double categories, three RARs, inside the RARs, a folder, which impacts into another folder, which, oh, you find me there. In type A. I'm in the type A folder. What can you offer in a room where I can do anything I want to you? I can use that power for so much malicious shit. Niggas love a good Candace Owens look-alike. Niggas love a good Candace Owens sound-alike. I could pull it off. Read what she just read into the camera directly what she says and probably pop off. I don't do that because I got niggas I'd have to respond to in real life who would say, "What's going on with that? What do you mean by that?" So what happens when we see people fall into those motions? How do I read these people so well? Why me? I just happen to be one of the people talking to you. There are other people that do this all the time. They're your friends, the people you trust in, the people you confide in who say, I don't really think that's a good situation for you to be in. Forces me to think about how I'm going to talk about this for so long and still keep your attention because I'm worried about the attention economy. Another layer of buy-in that I don't have control over. You could be making food and you want to put me on for 25 minutes. Damn it, because then you going to say, I watched a YouTube video, I wish I would have stayed. I had this, that, and the other going on, that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, I am aware of that. That's kind of the crux of who I am, is that I can offer you something that forces you to sit down and say, damn, I really like what he said there. I can elicit a good response to you because I'm used to bearing my soul out in a room where there could be 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, 15, 20 people. That experience might be unique. Remember what I said about having all the motherfuckers that watch your stream in your room? You in my room. You not leaving. Don't that sound crazy? Let me say that again so we all understand how crazy that is. You in my room right now. You not leaving. That shit sound abusive as fuck. that's the default of this relationship. That's how content works. But when you're in a live format, you're supposed to respond in kind and in live to whatever people might be saying around what you're talking about. How do you change that paradigm? You have to give them something to listen to that makes them say, damn, I don't want to type, I just want to listen. I can get other shit done while I'm listening because I'm fucking with it. And it's happening, and it could change on the spin of a dime. We don't know what's gonna happen here. After a certain period of time, after a certain amount of conversations, eventually you gotta fall to the ground. You hitting every branch on the way down, and the ground only got green and non-green patches. They could be dog shit in both, but they are still the most basic forms of what you expect to see once you hit that fucking ground. There are places where we have set in our heads how conversation should happen. I develop an idea of who you are. I see how you present it. That's social awareness. That I've been somewhere. I've been at the party where I'm equal and people fuck with me, but I can't control you and tell you, yo, in the middle of the party, go punch that woman in the face. Go knock over them bottles and then say, we're going streaking or whatever. I can't, we're too old. And it's cringy when you're young anyway. The expectation is that I'm selling you something you can buy into in a room where you can't leave because you don't want to, because there's literally nowhere else to be. The expectation is now an extension of yourself. You don't know what the other person has taken from you, because I'm saying this with all due respect to every content creator that's out there, the things that you make cannot have self-reflection within them. You can make deep movie pieces, short films that make you think or whatever, but that's not you sitting on a chat talking about your day. The mediums are different. You can have podcasts where you riff off ideas and you read stories. Somewhere it has to originate. And most people find their originations in what happens when they're isolated but still part of large communities. Their name gets mentioned other places. Drama occurs. Why doesn't this person like me? Why did this person say that? Oh, a clip of this went out. Oh, a clip. Because we're not talking to anybody anymore. We're displaying our thoughts in real time out loud, and anybody can latch on to that and change my opinion or engage with my opinion. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to deal with somebody who's never experienced the other side of that before. Everyone can sell a portion of themselves now. Everyone can go on Instagram and tell you what's going on with their day, and you gotta take them at face value. That's Jimmy. He be lying sometimes. Yeah, it used to be that he would come to the corner after 2 weeks of not seeing him, tell you all his bullshit stories, smoke your weed, and then dip. It used to be that way. Ain't that way no more. Ain't that way no more. Ain't that way no more. Nah, now you broken. Now you gotta face the music. Really? You was here? I was there. I didn't see you. You gotta face the music. Everybody has a way into your life and you don't even know why. Oh, because it's a window into your life, We get to see what you're doing because you went live and recorded it or blah, 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 and this and that. I'm glad you're keeping up with me. Now I got to figure out if there's a reason why you're keeping up with me. That response, eventually you're going to hit the I don't like you. Same thing with debate bros. You want to pull this all the way back into politics? Go pull it all the way back into politics. Everyone and anyone who owns a device can do it the same way with the same steps. The uniqueness has to carry the weight of the meeting. Some people put themselves too far out there into the world and it breaks them. We're watching people like Chaya Rychik, brain broken. I'm an evil person because I don't like that these people are getting more attention than me. High school shit. We'd have beat you up and thrown you into a locker. Can't do that no more because now you know how to press charges. So you get to antagonize groups of people for free. We used to hate bullies. We reward bullies. One's a president right now. Twice, Joe Biden bullying everybody to drop out of the race so Joe Biden could win. Bullies. Regular shit, bro. You get a phone call from the local school gang and they're like, yo, if you show up tomorrow, you're gonna get a beat down. What? Your politicians do it. We're gonna fight Trump. Ooh, yeah. Cut to another politician. Choose your fighter. It's like, oh, so you could sit there and do that, but like, you can't just like go up and stab one of them niggas? I don't know what you're doing there then. Like, what happens when the entire left side of the Congress throws up the Nazi salute. Are you gonna fight there? Or are you just gonna go, choose your fighter? Makes me feel like on a deeper personal level, you're so removed from society that you think you're also immune to getting jumped and thrown in a trash can. Okay, a lot of people who should be getting snuffed are not. Look what's happening. We used to fight very hard, at least in my school, so I'm going to say my district, because New York City really wasn't on that type of timing unless you was like really ignorant. We fought so hard against bullying against gay students, people who would show traits that didn't belong with their supposed assumed gender before gender was really a deep conversation, at least around my class. Don't matter. The moment they graduated, welcome to the real world. We're still on that type of timing. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to receive 30,000 messages a day as a famous gay person that, yo, can't wait till we repeal your rights. Hope you die alone. Hope you die alone. And then you're going to sit there as an ally like I am and say, it's not going to be that bad. We're going to fight the system. Yes, I'm going to do a lot of fighting from my chair right now. I know where I'm at. Do you know where you're at? I go outside. I don't get the position to speak and be a leader, but I could probably handle that. But so could most of the people who are in that crowd, because they also have these same tools. There are benefits as well as there are negatives. However, the benefits are never explored because all people can do is fall off the tree into one of them branches. You can't develop nothing outside of the core of why did you wear that t-shirt? You know that there's a genocide going on. Why are you wearing an Israeli Defense Force t-shirt? You had to have gotten up, gotten dressed, ignored what was on the shirt, or thought about it for a second and decided whatever in your brain said no matter what, at the end of the day, it was okay to wear, sit, film, shoot, edit. I have to attribute all the possible steps that you fell down into, you fell into a non-green patch. It doesn't matter what you fall into regardless. You're going to fall into that non-green patch. I could sit here and figure out why you would do it. I could sit here and figure out why you would do it, but I can't fathom you being fake enough to give me a real response. Remember how I started this? I heard something from somebody that you might have said about me or something that you said about me, and it's like, you and I were sitting in the same bed in a morning where there was nobody in my crib, and here I am sliding my fingers up and down you, and I didn't pull the trigger on trying to do anything else with you because I literally felt our friendship would be just crinkled if I pulled this trigger and didn't have the weight to carry what was going on after. We hang out more times in the future. We have all times. We share experiences, this and that. All of a sudden now, nah. Somebody I heard said something all of that's gone. Goodbye. Okay, well, most of my friends died, so really weird that like this is possible, but this feels like you've always wanted to do that. You just needed an excuse. Because as far as I can remember, that doesn't match what I can literally see with my own eyes. You gotta tell me when. You gotta tell me why. You gotta tell me who. Nope, that is a problem. You've already developed the idea. You've already moved according to that idea. If you were to find out that idea doesn't exist now, you're just gonna la 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 your way through it, which is something that you usually do. You la 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 your way through everything. So now I feel slighted because now I don't have an answer. So now when somebody comes to me for help, I go blank. That's a problem for me. I can't go blank because when, especially femme presenting people, when they ask you for help and they want to trust you with a decision they're going to make, you probably want to hold that in high regard because men suck, right? Sorry, can't help you. Sorry, can't help you. Well, yo, what up, Anthony? Sorry, can't help you. You will form this relationship and you will strangle yourself trying to figure out how it failed. And then you still, like I said earlier, will still look at yourself in an IG post and a thing and a here, and you will still say, this shit feel disingenuous. I want you to see me for me because niggas not doing it like me. Niggas not doing it like me. Niggas not doing it like me. Some people feel slighted by that. Some people feel like, oh, I've seen this before. But then you go and see somebody else do what you do. You see them same people have a change of heart, something flip in their head is presented to them better. But what did I say? We're not talking about stars and fame. We're talking about the friends you grew up with who you still trying to figure out why one of them won't message you back on every message you send or will miss liking your comment and liking everybody else's comment. You're not supposed to deeply analyze that. Then they make it a pattern. Okay, you're showing signs of behavior. You're speaking through decisions that you're making that are either supposed to be subtle or start a conversation. The fact that you're going about it in this way shows me that at some point you will make one of two decisions or say one or two things. I remember telling this weird girl, her name I think was Maxine. She was going off on some transphobic shit. And I told her off, and I said at the end of it, like, don't be mad when a man decides to clock you because they think that you're trans. Because you're not giving complete 100% female to them. Just remember that this transphobia will knock itself back your way. She didn't understand what the word clock meant, and she thought it was like getting clocked, like somebody hitting you. See? You're just ignorant. So now I'm lost because I can't get through to you, and nobody else wants to even try. Nobody else wants to pay attention. Nobody else give a shit. So you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do that, you know, I guess. People call you weird. People call you all types of names. People go through the same issues that they've been going through. People try to figure out why the fuck it's going that way. I don't understand. None of this is making sense. Well, that's because I've already played this conversation out with other people. I've had that raw experience of letting my guard down and letting the situation play out. I know hundreds of people from my businesses. I know hundreds of different people from different backgrounds from my time as a teacher. I've been exposed to more routes of behavior than you have just out of the pure nature of what I do. I have to have personal relationships at some level with multiple groups of not only adults but also children. You can't Tootsie slide your way out of this one. Now imagine a person that you don't know starts moving a certain way based off a question you ask them. And this is assuming that you're not doing anything weird in this circumstance. This is normal social communication that has been degraded. Age old meme. Why are you posting nobody hit me up when I hit you up and you don't want to respond? It's you responding to the I don't want to hit. Why is it nobody hit me up? That's the trigger point. You got to take that L and just move on, brother. It ain't worth a fight. It ain't worth a this. It ain't worth a that. Oh, but you're older now. You can't just brush it off. I don't have to come see you no more. I don't got to come see you no more. So now here we are at the beautiful tail end of a wondrous journey trying to figure out why people move the way that they do. Watched a random video from a YouTuber I ain't seen in a couple months. His name is Furious Fade, 2.62 million subscribers. At the end of his video, he has a tag at the end, and guess what that tag sound is? And this just happened about 5 hours ago. 6 hours ago, he uploaded that video. The ending tag is the same as my tag for Triforce Studios when I upload videos. My entire beginning process theme. Anybody could use it, absolutely. Just so happens that I ran into the video all of a sudden. Put that in another video. Ain't that the thing from Fade? Awesome. Expectations, reality. I can't sell you myself because you think no matter what I do that all of this is still a performance. All of this is still not me just telling you how I feel. So people treat relationships like that. Everything is a zero-sum game. You better not be lying, but actually I'm always lying. It's gonna happen eventually. It's a desolate throwaway in the land of whatever type of emotion you want to have. I'm just telling you. There's some people that can see past the bullshit. And it's crazy that like we still want to garner sympathy and support for what we do and promoting ourselves, not thinking that that's going to lead us down a path of, hey, I remember how you used to treat me in fourth grade after school on a rainy day. Why are you doing that to people at age 28, 29? What the fuck is wrong with you? You never grew up from that? The aggression is from the failed system that you live in, the failed attempts at trying to be close to people. in a world where people don't know what the word fucking close means. You're stuck between nowhere and everywhere, and you just want it to stop. The noise is picking up. The this is picking up. You're just not fucking with the vibe, bro. And it's putting you in such a negative headspace that when you're asked to look for empathy out of yourself and into a community that can't hear your voice, you'd rather just shut that shit out because it's not giving you anything. This is my room. Nobody could tell me shit in my room until somebody in their room tries to tell you shit in your room. The failure of finding love in everything and people giving you false support to a degree where when they're ready to disconnect from you, they pull the plug without ever warning you. And you're left there picking up the pieces while they can pretend to be all together. They eventually need your help. You say, nah, I'm good. You say, nah, I'm good. You say, nah, I'm good. And then you wonder if that's enough. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's never enough. It's never enough. And that's just the way the world works now. Maybe 1907, maybe 1974, August 19th, not July 7th, 2025. Usually at the end of all of these, I ask people, well, what can we do about it? I take the John Oliver route. Well, what can we do about this? Sometimes you got to trust that some people aren't out to get you. I'm not trying to sell you $6 a month so you can hear me ramble about how fucked up people are towards me and like how I'm messaging somebody right now about a photo shoot that I've been trying to get for the last year. And we set up a plan, we do a whole thing. I hit him up next week. Hey, still interested in what? In what? There's nothing else we've ever talked about. What's going on your side? Why you keep hitting me up like this? Pretending you don't know me. I forgot what her name was. I think it was Marissa Linsalata, some shit like that. Somebody who wanted to do a photo shoot with me, and they were part of a queer baseball league, and I was like, yo, I could do a whole bunch of beautiful shit. Hit me up for a shoot. Hey, I would love to do a personal shoot. How much is it? 125. Cool. All right, where we meeting? This here and there. Day comes, never responds. Ask, hey, so we still meeting? Yeah, we still meeting. Yeah, we still meeting. Yeah. End of it all. End of it all. Says she can't make it or whatever. We'll just do it tomorrow, whatever. I was like, sure, fine. And I was just like, I would like to let you know that I'm going to probably ask for like 10, $15 extra since I had really planned for today and now I got to move it to tomorrow. Blocked me and haven't heard from that person since. But when we was hanging out, it was all good and smiles. You was inviting me and showing me around to your friends and shit. Me wanting $10 is gonna break. Like you broke the agreement of the day. We've been friends for over a decade, ma'am, person. Okay, so when you start doing weird shit, I start noticing it. When you act a certain way on the internet, I start noticing it because I've seen it before. I've seen the erosion of what we consider to be social contracts between viewers, content enjoyers, movie watchers, we've lumped everybody into one thing and therefore that one thing must define all subsets of its relationships and its spread and nothing could ever be different. And if you try to deviate from that, they judge you extra hard. They judge you like you kicked a puppy. They judge you like it's judgment day. You're not ever gonna see the light of day until the book of Job hits you right in the face. I was able to talk about this entire thing relating to how people move and social connections, and I haven't even begun to talk about grief. It's all external buy-in factors. Wait till you get to the internal buy-in factors and how deep that conversation goes. Jordan Peterson could try to do something like this and he never could because he'll eventually end up talking about dragons or whatever. In the fields dominated by the people who are supposed to have the thoughts that excel above yours, all they're doing is selling them dog shit on green grass. They don't realize that they don't have to fall into the dog shit green grass. There's clean green grass right over there. It's not the other side. I just want you to walk a little bit better onto the side that you are existing within. How did I end up being the careful, cautious wolf that I am? How did I gain this vast amount of knowledge about people's decisions and their displaying actions and how that leads to metaphorical meanings and subtext that can be easily explained into an emotion or such. How did I get to this point? I saw it happen to you, so I know that it could happen to me.